Approved.
The meeting is now in session. Let's stand and do the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alright, Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Here.
Councilmember Jones,
Here.
Councilmember Keith,
Here.
Councilmember Pringle, here, Councilmember Rain,
Here.
Councilmember Bakke.
Here.
Thank you. All members are present. We will move along to our public comment section, and we have quite the audience tonight, so I'm excited to hear from you guys. I'm going to start over here on this side, but just to remember, as you're addressing council, it's 5 minutes per person. You're welcome to come up to the podium there. If you do, please, well, either way, you stay in your seats or you come up to the podium. Please make sure to use your name for the audience at home so that they know who's speaking. And Mr. Horn, I'll start with you. All right.
So, a few of you know me. I am Life Scout Owen Horn, and I am working on my Eagle Scout project. I was approved by this council about a year and a half ago, and I just have a small request for supplies. We're finally past the year of paperwork and other things. It took a while. And I noticed, passing just a few of the town areas, that there's a lot of unused pipe and a lot of unused gravel. And both of these would be great for erosion control and trail construction. And so, to be specific, if there were any 3 or 4 inch pipe that's unused that you guys would like to donate, that'd be a great help. And then we're looking for any kind of just gravel. We're using it to shore up the sides of the trail to make it walkable. But aside from that, I didn't have any other concerns to address.
Awesome. How many people do you have in your group working on this project?
Well, I'm dual enrolled in 2 troops. 456 is the one that I've spent the most time in, and we've got 4 members, 2 of which I drag along with me and work on the most. We've actually staged about 5 tons of rock to move for a workday, but I'm dual enrolled with Troop 84, which has about 15 to 20 or so, I'd say 16, 17-year-olds who I can pull along for the project as well. So I've got a good number of people that I can enlist. I've also got the track team, cross-country team, a few friends, that kind of thing.
Well, it's always good to hear from young members like yourself, and I say young, I use that loosely. I know you're going to be graduating here probably soon, but who are doing good deeds like this in our community. I think it's fantastic.
Oh, for sure. And then would you like to, for the rest of the council members who weren't here for my original approval of the project, would they just like to hear what the project is?
Sure, absolutely.
All right, awesome. So I'm doing a short trail. It's only 1/8 of a mile. However, it is a connecting trail between town and school property that exists because the previous route for track and cross-country teams to do hill exercises was unsafe. It was along the side of a road that, between the Georgetown High School and the cemetery. The hill that they did the exercise on is just past the cemetery, right? And so they'd go along there. However, there was a collapse of the wall in the cemetery, and when it was rebuilt, the erosion control that the construction workers chose is not safe to walk on. It's on top of being a very busy road that is very heavily littered. And so I chose to make my trail parallel to the road itself. It's off and down the gully, in which it is a walking path from the back of the high school bus garages to a side entrance of the graveyard. It's basically just a safe way to travel between the 2 properties without having to risk, tripping and falling on the loose rock used for erosion control by the town, or risking, any of the road hazards. The trail has no bridge because nobody's going to be outside when the water's anywhere above 8 inches. So the creek usually just runs fairly dry, and it's safe to walk across and then go back up the other side. So It's just a short trail, but it does need a lot of construction. We're going to be putting in stairs. We're having to put in a retaining wall to make a level walking plane. And we're also having to lay in a lot of gravel because it is very muddy. We've actually been out there so much that we've worn down the hillside just by walking, and it's become worse. And so we've had to put more gravel. So with the help of my friends and supplies and donors, I'll be able to finish this public contribution.
Well, that is fantastic, and I'm certain we can find some scrap pieces, and certain we have some gravel that we would be able to help you with, so.
Sure, and then to coordinate that, I am yet to get, I can't quite dump supplies in the bus garage parking lot, but I'm going to coordinate with the principal, hopefully, and I'll get together a way to actually have the supplies delivered,
Okay.
and so I'll remain in contact for that as well.
The easiest way to handle that is I would probably next week give our administrator Travis a phone call right here.
Awesome.
I've got his card, so his number and everything, or an email, if that's even better. So that you can get a hold of him, and then you guys can really work on the coordination of what you need to do.
Awesome. I
Does that sound
appreciate it.
good?
Thank you.
I'm gonna hand you this,
Perfect.
and we always appreciate you coming to council.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I have a quick question.
Yes, Dr. Kelly.
No, you're good. So on the way back, do you come the same trail back, or are you making like a loop?
It does not loop. It's the same entrance and exit. It can go either way. Just because there wouldn't. Yeah, no, it doesn't loop. There'd be if we were to loop it, it'd have to cross the road, and that wouldn't be very well. That, and it'd also cross personal property lines of homeowners. So the trail is just a straight shot there and back.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you again.
Yep. Thank you.
Is it okay if we leave?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I apologize. That's all we had come to do was
You're
to
fine.
put in our 2 cents.
We understand we're not that interesting. It's okay.
Thank you very much.
You guys have a good night.
Thank you. All right, see you guys later.
All right, moving on. Jan, anything tonight?
Okay. My name's Jan Staubach. I've been a long-time Georgetown resident. I have some concerns about a license agreement on the small park up in the middle of town. I understand that Mike Mays wants a piece of the property, I guess for people to line up at that window or something, I have no idea. But I don't have an issue with a little piece like that. But the way this ordinance reads, this license agreement reads, it sounds almost like he can put some tables and benches or something in the park for people to sit and eat if they choose to go there. I don't like that at all. I don't think that's what that park is for. I spend considerable time there. I replenish the book box. I buy books for little kids and put in there. If I'm up in town and I have my dog with me, we'll sit in the park for a little bit. I always do pick up after her. I wonder who's going to be, if we have tables and chairs out there, who's going to be picking up after people are there. I think that park belongs to the village. It's for village use, village residents' use, and Mike doesn't really fall under a whole lot of those. I just wonder, what is the plan for that park?
Anyone want to address?
Does anybody have any kind of an idea? Because I'm not real happy about it. I keep thinking, okay, when we come up for a concert on the square, where do people park? That's a parking lot that's there between the church and the park. That's not Mike's property. The park is not Mike's property. It's not my property either. I couldn't anymore put a picnic table up there than anything, start selling hot dogs or whatever happens to be. I just want you to know that I want to be on record as saying that I don't have that much of an issue with him having a tiny strip of land for people to line up for his ice cream. But I really want to make sure that that park is not used as what it sounds like in this resolution, that he can put chairs and tables and things. He's already got chairs and tables in front of his place. He doesn't need to put them in the park. And I just want you to know that I'm only one of the people who's opposed to that right now. So I want you to think long and hard about approving whatever it is you're going to approve that we do in that park. It belongs to the whole village. And if he's going to take up the parking lot, I can't really tell from this resolution what exactly is going to happen. But if he would take over the parking lot, what's to stop Donahue's from saying, I want to lease all the parking in front of my place and nobody can park there? So just think about it. There are a lot of possible repercussions here. And it's really, I know I haven't used up all of my 3 minutes, but that's really all I've got to say. So think about it.
Thank you, Jan.
Does our lease agreement actually does it go that far to let him actually use the park? Or is it just designed for the strip in front of the window?
So the lease agreement is for 15 foot out and then straight across. So the parking should remain there, but it will give him 15 foot towards the roadway and then straight across to the church.
But not really invading.
So it's not,
invading the park.
it's not going to, we're not giving him permission to go further into the park, right?
Not without permission from the village.
Is that something that we may need to bring to Mark or something like that?
Well, the agreement clarifies that.
Okay.
And originally, that's what he had requested of the village, was to have the entire parcel. But we are only giving 15 foot out and straight across.
If you guys so choose to do
Yeah,
that tonight.
if you
yeah.
approve that, yeah.
It's not been approved, it's on your shoulders if you so choose to do it tonight.
Correct.
Okay. All right, let's see, gentleman in the back, oh, I'm sorry, one second, right, for
No.
Tina, nothing, okay. My apologies, gentleman, okay. And again, just a reminder to state your name for those who are at home viewing.
Absolutely. So my name is Kale Stewart. I'm the CEO of On Our Way Home, Inc. We provide recovery housing and supportive services for individuals rebuilding their lives from substance use disorder. As you, I'm sure, are all aware, we have a home on 304 East North Street. And we've received a few letters from your zoning. We're here in good faith. We just want to make that very clear that we want to be good neighbors. We have a couple of properties in Claremont County. We have very good relationships with all of our other municipalities that we deal with our other neighbors. There were some misconceptions and some misunderstandings, I think, in some of the letters that we'd initially received and engaged in, and we're just kind of wanting to make it clear that we're here to have a discussion, to talk with you guys, to understand what your concerns are. We're people just like you are. You guys did receive a letter back from our attorney in response to the letter that you had sent. We have not seen a response to that. It is consistent with everything that I'm kind of talking about here. We're very compliance focused. We are, because of the nature of what we do, we are very focused on understanding and following whatever the laws, the rules, whatever we're subject to. I understand that you guys have worked with Strauss and Troy, and you've engaged with them for handling some of these zoning questions. We did find a memo from them that it indicated that there's a high risk of litigation for a city if they attempt to, impose restrictions on a recovery home, someone that serves people in recovery. That's because of federal fair housing law. We don't want any kind of litigation. We just want to kind of understand what your primary concerns might be, to kind of explain what we are, clarify any misconceptions. As we stated in the last letter that we sent, we have 2 residents living there. We're landlord tenant. It's residential use. But that's just kind of, I wanted to kind of introduce myself a little bit. If anyone, I would have liked to have maybe gotten here a little bit earlier, talked about this a little bit sooner at a different council meeting, but we just wanted to kind of put that out there. So if anybody has any questions or any statements.
Yeah, I'll speak and just say on behalf of the village that nobody has ever suggested that you aren't acting in good faith or that you don't have a good mission. The problem is that your use does not comply with our zoning code. And you're not exempt from our zoning code, although certain types of facilities and programs are exempt. That may be what you're referencing in your letter. But your licensure with the state does not exempt you from our code, and in the M1 mixed-use district, a group home or a recovery home is not permitted. And so that's why the village has taken the position that they're taken and will take the position that they plan to take, just because that use is not permitted. That's something before you purchase the property that you certainly could have checked with the village, and you would have gotten the same response you're getting tonight. So, I think that's the village's position, and if you want to discuss it, we're obviously happy to. But I know there have been letters that have gone back and forth, and we've articulated our position and indicated that if the use continues, that we would engage in litigation to stop that.
So that's just the piece, because I know you guys have worked with Strauss and Troy. They're a large, they specialize in zoning law. They issued a memo, and this is kind of what, because we try to do our research. Like I said, we're very compliance focused. And their memo issued to Kenton County regarding the applicable federal law, here at play with the fair housing, is, I'll quote, attempts to regulate sober living homes by zoning laws or their enforcement face significantly higher risk than many other activities by a municipality because of the fact that violation of a federal law by a city of the rights of these individuals can result in a federal civil rights case, obviating complex and expensive federal court litigation. This has been, if you guys look at some of the cases and the issues, it's pretty settled. I've had trouble finding an instance where a recovery home that is, not engaging in treatment, which we are not violating any occupancy restrictions, that are, acting as a single family residence.
Kayla, I will say, we appreciate you coming to the meeting tonight. We have expired the 5 minutes. However, what we're saying is we're more than happy to have discussions off, aside from the meetings, truly not the place for it, to have to go back and forth. This is public comment. As we have done in the past, we've had meetings too as well. We did a Zoom meeting. And so we're happy to have that if we need to, but we are where we are.
We would welcome the discussion without the letter.
Okay, we'll talk to our solicitor right here, so.
Thank you.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Gentlemen on the end, would you like to address? Okay, all right, thank you. All right, guys, we are moving on, and we are moving to our department reports. And Travis, I'm just gonna turn to you.
Okay. For utilities, for streets we've gotten our salt replenished, so we're ready for any more winter weather that we might have, although we're not looking forward to any. Working on potholes, cleaning catch basins, that type of spring prep. We we have the advertisement out for our cemetery mowing program. So we have had good interest in that. Last year we really did not, so we're glad to see we've had quite a few bids come in already. Electric, they're working with on West Grant to get ready for the ACDP project. They're doing continuing the rotten pole replacements. The police department is doing a street light review so that they can replace street lights that are out. And then we have some new construction coming that they're working with, and then we're exploring easement needs for the electric department. Sewer, they're working on a lot of their annual permits for discharge and sludge, working on the annual report. We have a large 60 horsepower pump that is out for repair. We're hoping it can be repaired because that is very expensive pump to replace. And then we're hoping to get someone in to repair the telemetry there at the Possum Hollow location to get that functioning. Water, they're going to be flushing hydrants in April. Not every hydrant though, like we did last year, just the dead end hydrants at the end of mains to clear sediment from the line. So we will be putting that on the bills before we do it, and then we'll put out a Facebook post before we do that as well. But it won't be every hydrant, but people will notice maybe some discoloration in the water as we flush those minerals out that have settled in the mains. And then he's also working on his annual reports and getting ready for the annual letter that we have to send out to the customers on our water quality. Let's see. I think that is it for utilities.
All right. Let's see,
Can I
anything?
ask a question? So on our sewer pump that you were talking about getting repaired, do we have a spare?
We do have a spare in place, yes, but you always you always need that spare.
Right.
You
So right now we're using the
We're
spare.
operating on the ultimate.
Okay. Do you know the cost of one if we have to?
60,000 is the estimate.
What, do you know the life expectancy of one of those?
This pump is not that old, but the problem is that our telemetry has not been working, so when we get this pump replaced, we have to get proper cycling in place so that these pumps are cycled. Because, you know, the problem is the way this was built, I guess, is not optimal, so they're really high risk of corrosion, and that's what we're seeing.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions for Travis?
Parks, we have, they started on the assembly today for the second phase of our playground equipment. So they'll be getting that installed. And then we're hoping to have that third phase stuff come in soon so they can install that as well. That's the central seating area for adults with canopy. And then once that's installed, we'll get the ADA compliant sidewalks installed for the playground equipment. So that is underway.
And that's a big improvement for the park too as well.
Yes. And then I'll go ahead and mention tennis courts. We did have a meeting with the school district. We discussed our budgetary constraints. I did go ahead and apply for the community funding through Representative Dave Taylor's office, see if we could get that to ease the burden of whatever negotiation we move forward with. So I did apply for that.
What was that grant? How much was that grant?
I submitted for $168,000, and then we would match, I think, the other $60,000.
So we'd only be on the hook for 60.
60 of the 218, whatever it
That's
was.
that's pretty good.
If we get it.
And that's usually what we were spending right every 5
That's
6
right.
years
Yes.
on the wrong
Yes.
thing. So I think that's pretty solid.
Assuming we get it.
Yeah. Got fingers crossed, right?
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Travis?
No. I have some electric information I'll give when we get to the legislation.
Okay.
Or no, it's up here under utilities. I can go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Let's see, so
Let's see, I wanted to discuss, we had kind of a shock in January with our billing. As you know, we had a cold spell. It seems that most people in town have forgotten that, based on Facebook reporting and shock over their high bills, but we did have quite a cold spell. So for us in the village, you know, we get billed monthly for the bulk rate. And you can see year over year, this year's January is in blue, last year's January is in the gray there. So really, comparative wise, you know, it wasn't that big of an issue as far as the amount used. The problem was it got so cold and stayed cold. So because of the electric market being so tight, you know, we purchased blocks, and we're going to be discussing on some new purchases later in the meeting. So some of our blocks are seven days a week, 24 hours a day. That's, you know, that's our base, and part of that base is the Rumpke landfill and that type of thing. So you know, those are covering all the time. Other blocks that we purchase are 5 days a week for 16 hours a day to cover weekday when businesses are open, factories are running, you know, the busy times. And then we also purchase off the spot market, so just whatever the rate is at the time, and that's typically, you know, middle of the night, people are in bed, usage is low. The spot market is generally lower than what, you know, the contractual rate is. But because of this extended cold period, we really, you know, the market's so tight, we had quite a spike in that spot market. So, let's see, let's switch here. Let's see if we can see this or not. So last year's spot market, we used 1,900 megawatt hours. We were billed $61 for that period. For this year, about the same. We used a little more. Instead of 1,900, it was a little over 2,000, but spot market jumped to $171. So that equates to the bill last year was 400,000. This year it was 770,000. That's our bill. So, you know, people are seeing high spikes on their utility bills, but just know that that's not profit that we're taking. We did lose money in January because of that spot market. February, we had a little bit of a spike. It was at 90 instead of the normal, you know, 50 to 60. So we did have another. It was about 100,000 more than last year. It's 80,000 more than last year. So we'll just have to monitor that through the year, and hopefully that comes back down to normal. It should now that cold, because the cold streak extended into February. So you know, that's because of the first part of February was still that cold streak. So you know, the spot market was still high. So that will come down. But again, historically and typically, it's good that we're buying a portion of our portfolio from the spot market because it's generally cheaper that way. The problem is when it tightens up and you have this, everybody's heat pumps running all night, you know, because it's so cold, you just have a spike. So that's where we are on that. We do have a couple of options to consider for tonight. We have, let's see, okay. So we have an option. Why is it showing this? So Potomac Energy is going to be an intermediate, so it's one of the 5 days a week, 16 hours a day. It's natural gas. It's a 15-year commitment. It will average, it'll start in the 40s. The average 15-year price is $59.75. This is a pretty easy one to I think go forward with, because I think that's a pretty good price over a 15-year period, and it's natural gas. So that is one of the two they're suggesting, I think 1.5 megawatts commitment for that. The second one is a solar option. This is 25 years. So the fixed price for the first 5 years is 73, and then it goes to 78 after the first 5 years, and then from 6 to 25 years it's 78. But keep in mind, we get those RECs, we get those solar RECs that are sold, and then we get the credit. So the estimated cost to us will be in the 48 to 68 range. So as long as those solar RECs continue to hold value, which we have seen no reason not to believe that they will, you know, that this will also be a good benefit. The purpose of the solar is to cover those peak times when we're using the most energy. It's a good way to offset some of the capacity costs. So I think both are worth considering, and we'll have legislation for those tonight. We do need to commit pretty soon on both of these projects because they are competitive.
The only question I have on that is, let's just say if we didn't, right, we didn't do legislation and we waited. I'm assuming as the year goes on, prices are gonna go higher.
Well, these will be off the table now. We would just have to wait to see if any new generation came along, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is a way to supplement the $171 that we
So,
paid.
yeah.
Yeah, in
I
January.
mean, we're still going to have spot market purchase. We just don't want to risk increasing the amount of spot market. We have, some of our current blocks will go away in 2028. That's when these kick in.
The first one you showed kicks in 28 also?
Yeah, both of them do.
Can you go back to that first one? So that one's just a 15-year.
So this one starts June of actually this year.
Okay.
Yeah, the second one starts in 2028, I'm pretty sure. So the natural gas will start later this year. And then our current contract with the landfill ends in 2032, but I would expect we'll be able to renew that.
And the gas is roughly $60,
Yeah.
and the other one was 70.
70s, but after the credits, it's about the same.
But the credits aren't guaranteed, is that correct?
Credits not guaranteed.
Right.
I mean, best case scenario, it'll be in the $48 range if the credits stay high. If the credits drop off, then it could go to 68. I mean, if they drop off completely, it could go to the 70s.
And then this one's 10 years longer contract.
Yeah, it's a 25-year. We need them both to fill in our blocks, but if we chose not to do the solar, we would have to find something else. I mean, I don't think we want to have a portfolio of all solar, but it does make sense to cover those peak times when the sun is shining, it's hot. It serves a purpose. You know, solar is an increasing part of everyone's portfolio when it's used for the right purpose.
And we can choose both, right?
Yeah, I'm asking you to choose both. We're doing two megawatts of the solar and I think 1.5 of the natural gas is what we're recommending.
How much is of value is the contract with Rumpke to produce this? How much does that help?
It's 29% of our load. So that's all I have. We'll have legislation later in the meeting.
Everybody good? All right. Any additional department reports?
No, that's what I believe.
All right, we will go under general business and we'll start with 5.1 and it looks like we have an appropriation. Councilmember Campbell, can you read this by title?
Sure. An annual appropriation ordinance for the village of Georgetown. I guess that's it.
2026 final budget for council packet. Is that what you're looking at?
So this is our final, as you know, in January, or in December, we passed the temporary budget for this year. This is just the permanent budget.
All right, Kelly, you good? You back on page?
It's 5.1, correct?
Yeah, you read it. I think you might have clicked on the budget maybe.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, so we have the ordinance in the packet here. Questions from the group? We do have Greg here tonight as well. All right.
Is there any significant changes from the temporary budget we passed, or was there anything that we didn't?
I mean, we tweaked a lot of things. The main thing on there is the pass-through for the streetscape and the visitor center. We have to account for that money. It comes through our budget, so it's a $7.4 million increase in the budget, but that's just pass-through. Sure.
Yeah, and as far as, you know, the other changes, I mean, the bulk of it, we did put a little more money in for the electric to offset the sticker shock last month. I mean, that was 400,000 of it, so, other than that, it mainly contractual services, line items.
Alright. When finished with questions, we certainly would entertain a motion. Oh, is it first reading? I apologize. Sorry. First reading, guys.
Yeah, so you can review this and we can follow up next meeting if you have any questions.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. So we are moving along then, and Kelly, we have another ordinance under 5.2.
An ordinance authorizing the sale, disposal, or transfer of personal property from the village of Georgetown.
All right, and Travis, can you give us some insight?
So yeah, this is just our obsolete items list, old inventory, stuff we're no longer using, vehicles that are no longer in service, that type of thing. And this will go on Gov Deals. Terry's gonna work and get it all set up and ready. We will have a link that we'll post on Facebook so that you can access all of the Georgetown items, so that the public can bid on anything.
And this is actually a second reading tonight, so we certainly would, if so chosen, we could entertain a motion to approve this.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Councilmember Campbell has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilmember Jones. Kara, roll call.
So we're gonna do voting a little bit different. I'm gonna be sending for a vote, and we're still gonna call your name, but you guys have to hit electronically what you say out loud. So if you say yes, please mark yes.
You do have to verbally say it as well.
Yeah.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keefe,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle.
Yes.
I got you, Jay. You're good. Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. So that's something that you guys will see on Gov Deals. I'm sure we'll advertise it on Facebook too as well. All right. Say that again.
Ordinance.
That is
Get that.
ordinance 1410-1410.
Ordinance number 1410. All right. Section 5.3 is another resolution. Councilmember Campbell, can you read that by title?
Yeah, we're fine. Give me a second,
You're fine.
I'm plugging over here. Okay, here. A resolution authorizing the village administrator to enter into a license agreement with Michael D. Mays.
All right, so this is a second reading tonight as well, and I know there were edits from the last one, correct, Joe?
Yeah, so there's a couple things that are slightly revised. It does allow for him to utilize some picnic tables, and allows him to put some lights and like roping so that cars won't be creating a dangerous situation for anyone that's sitting there eating ice cream. I would point out, because there were comments about this earlier, that he's required to restore the property to its condition if he sells the business, transfers the property, or stops using it as the dairy bar, and it cannot be transferred without the consent of council. Additionally, he did purchase, as part of the fee, a right of first refusal. So that would mean that if any of the property is sold, or we get an offer to sell any of the property, he has an opportunity to match that, or to try to negotiate, essentially into bidding on it. So we just have an obligation to give him notice of that. I think that's really the most significant change that was made to it.
And I'd like to ask a question to clarify, from the awning out, is it 10 or 15?
15 feet.
15 feet, and it's just straight
Straight across.
to the right if you're staring at the awning, just parallel, and then he's gonna set back in there, correct?
Correct. Now, he had originally asked for more,
Right.
and the council declined to do that.
Right.
So the parking remains for the village. It does not mean that people that want to go get an ice cream can't park there, but it is village parking.
Right.
And if we were to, for any reason, have an event and want to make that parking for only a village event, we could do that, or close it for a village event if we
Right.
wanted to. So, but it is a license that would allow him to use that as long as he owns the business, and again, he's paying a license fee to the village for that.
And covering insurance, his
Right.
his own policy, right?
I want to just make sure that we put the insurance on there. We do? Yes, he has to have insurance and he has to name the village. I was gonna say, I didn't think I left that.
And then this is strictly a lease,
It's a license.
license.
And that's a difference. But there is a license, and if for some reason the village decides to do something with the area where he is currently holding that license, there is a 90-day trigger. It just has to be for a reasonable and good faith basis. Which obviously, if somebody wanted to come in and build a restaurant or Chipotle or something there, or if we decided we wanted to expand the park, we could do that. But it would have to be something reasonable, and that language is in there and it's negotiated.
And we'd have to give him 90 days.
Yeah, we'd have to give him notice of that.
90 day notice.
Correct.
And if we had if the village had a party, we could block off the parking there.
Yeah.
And that would not affect.
People could still walk up to his business, but we would be able to use the parking.
Additional questions?
And it seems that if we give this to him, it's, or let him licensed, it goes to the right, which would be toward the church and out. So I don't think we're not giving him permission to use the park, because that wouldn't be. And I believe his goal is to create a small buffer area so when cars pull in, they don't just pull right up to the building. They kind of give some people that are standing in line a little area, that a little safety zone there, so. Because I liked your concern earlier about giving him permission to use a park.
I'm sorry.
I wouldn't be on board with that, so.
I'm sorry.
I'm agreeing with you. I feel like what this will give him is more room to the church, toward the church, but it's a buffer zone for when people pull in and park. They don't just pull right up to his window. We're not giving him more permission to take over the park.
He can't put tables in the park,
Yeah.
in the park area. He can't put tables there.
Just a second. I am literally almost deaf, so it's really difficult for me to hear what's happening. I expect speakers or something so that people sitting back here can hear, but I really can't respond to what you said.
He said that they aren't gonna be, Mike Mays isn't gonna be able to use the parking area. It's only 15 foot out from the entrance and then towards the church. No picnic tables or anything in the park.
Okay, my point still though is, what's to keep Mr. Walker at the law office or somebody else saying, I want to lease the parking space in front of my business?
I mean, it's truly, it could happen. It could happen.
Please?
It could happen,
It could happen.
and we would just have to evaluate it at that time.
My concern is this. I chose to live here. It's a nice village and I've been here a long time and I really like it. I can see good and bad things both happening to it. Fortunately, most of the things that are going on right now are good. The village is looking nicer, it's a friendlier place. I just think that it's a shame to restrict the public in some areas. And now, the parking lot's always been an issue for me because I have some mobility issues. If I drive up and try to park, it's usually full of Mike's construction equipment. He's using it that way anyway. So, I don't know. It's like I bought a house, but I didn't like the people that lived there and there, so let's just tear them down. Because I knew that they were there when I bought that house. He knew what the property was when he decided to do what he decided to do. And I just think it opens a can of worms. It's got no end to it as far as the demands of any other business in the village now.
Well, we took into consideration that if John Doe owned the building, and we took into consideration that if John Doe owned the building and owned the Creamy Whip, with what we laid out, would we decide to give them that, not give them, license them that land for use with the dairy bar?
Mm-hmm.
And we decided that we would.
Mm-hmm.
It would be fair that if anyone had that building, had that ice cream or dairy bar, and they came to us and asked for that plat of land, we would license it to him by the measurements that we set out.
Yeah.
So if you owned that building and you put in a dairy bar and you wanted the same piece of, you wanted a license for the same piece of land,
If
we
I
would have
owned
given
that
it to you.
building, I'd have the license before I put a dairy bar in it. That's the way I look at it.
Good point, Jan. And we certainly appreciate your opinion and coming to council and addressing those things for this council to consider.
I just think it's detrimental to the village. It opens a can of worms for other businesses, and like I said, that building was there and the dairy bar was put in it with full knowledge of what the surrounding property was. And he's already got tables and chairs out in front. That should be enough.
Thank you, Jan. All right, so this council's had some debate. Is there still discussion up here? Please advise me what you would like to do. This was a second reading, and if you so choose, you could do a motion to approve tonight.
Has he said when he's gonna put the barrier,
Thank you for your interpretation.
steel barriers up along the border?
He hasn't said it, but I would say we're pretty soon.
When? Is that your question?
Yeah.
No, but I think it's all gonna be tied to when he gets his permits to open the business. And the license doesn't begin until he has his permits and the business opens. If the business were to never get their permits and not open, this license agreement will not have any effect.
Do we have an estimate? Or do you have an estimate?
I don't know. I don't want to speak for him, but I think he has indicated he's in the process.
When he was in front of you last meeting, I do believe he said by summer.
Yeah,
I do recall him saying that.
Okay.
he started saying May, but then it worked into June and July.
I have a question. So when you say that you're licensing this piece of property to that business, basically, is there a fee to that then? Or is that a yearly fee, a one-time fee?
So there's
or-
there's a fee of $2,600 that he pays to the village to get the license. It's a one-time fee.
Okay.
And we calculated that based on 10% of what it would cost to purchase the property, just the portion that he's using. So it did have some rational basis as to how we did that. But again, if the business were to close, it does not automatically go with the building, so he doesn't really own the property, he's using the property. And it is specific to that business.
He's also maintaining that portion of this, right?
Yes, there was also a comment earlier made about who would be responsible for picking up trash and things, that lies with him.
Well, I mean, I just want to make it the way I feel, that what we license him is fine, but I don't want to see where he moves another table closer to the park or onto the park 3 weeks after this license agreement is taken care of.
And I do believe that Joe has measures in the document. I was looking for those.
Yeah, so the drawing is very clear. It doesn't go into the park to the left, it comes straight out and straight over. And my position on that would be that if he exceeds that, then obviously the administrator would have to act on it. And, I mean, we could always terminate it, but I think based on our conversations, Travis is capable of notifying him and handling it. And I think that Mike knows he wanted more, but this is what we gave him. And so I think this is a compromise compared to what we originally talked about.
My question would also be that, if he violated whatever, at any moment, are we, made to give him back any money? So basically, if he breaks his lease, right, it's on him.
Correct. And again, the fee is designed to be a license fee. This is not uncommon. I've indicated to administration before, if you have a downtown area in various local governments, the sidewalks are owned by the village. It is not uncommon for villages to allow restaurants to pay a fee and then be able to put umbrella tables out there where it's an extension of their business. This is kind of like that. And it's not uncommon. Now, some villages may not charge a fee to do that, but as you know, we're getting ready to put in a very nice streetscape. And, that may be something down the road that we look at to help, maybe to pay for flowers, to pay for signage, lights, things like that. So it's not designed to be a full lease, it's designed to be a fee that helps to offset some maintenance costs.
Further discussion, questions?
If he continues to push the boundaries, like setting tables in the park, Travis calls, he removes them, he just continues to do it, is there some ramification for that?
Yeah, if there's a breach of the agreement, we could revoke it. It's like any contract, if you have a breach, you can act.
Well, I'll say something. I'm making my decision on the fact of if any business in the village that's current or would like, there's a new opportunity that they would come up and present for us, to me, I look at this as a new business. And if a new business would present, hey, this is what I'd like to have done, is there any way that I could lease a little bit for standing room so I could have ice cream to tie onto the streetscapes and all that? So for me, I look at it just as a business. And no matter where it's at in the village, I just look at it as a business owner comes to us and asks our opinion, and we kind of come up with some different theories and some different ideas. So for me, with all the criteria and the boundaries that Joe has put in, I see nothing wrong with it. For me, I would make a motion to approve.
Are you making a motion?
Yes.
I'll second that.
Councilmember Campbell has made the motion.
Before we vote, I just wanted to point out for Councilmember Pringle's comment, just so everybody has this before you vote. If there is a default of any of the obligations, there's a 10-day cure period. And if it says in here that if it's not cured in 10 days or an agreed upon period of time, that it would automatically terminate. So that, I just wanted to make sure you were clear.
Number 7.
So Councilmember Campbell properly made the motion, Councilmember Jones provided the seconds. Any further discussion? If not, Kara, we will do a vote.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke.
Yes.
All right, motion passes. All right, and Joe, you're gonna continue to work on that and get that solidified.
Yeah, we'll get everything executed and I'll work with his attorney to make sure it's implemented correctly.
And we need a resolution number.
Resolution 1435, 1435. Jay, it says you're offline. Go ahead.
I got the Wi-Fi sign.
That was, that motion passes, and that was resolution 1435. All right, moving on, guys. Under 5.4, we have another resolution to take a look at, and Councilmember Campbell, if you could read that by title.
Sure. A resolution to approve the form and authorize the village administrator to execute the Potomac Energy Center schedule with American Municipal Power, Inc., and take any other actions in connection therewith.
All right, so this is a resolution, again, based on what Travis presented up on earlier, based on his research and how we can help our energy market and our energy grid, what we provide our clients, the rates, all of those things that he presented earlier. It is his opinion that these next two resolutions would help support the cause and make that happen for the village and our citizens. So,
I'll make a motion to approve.
Councilmember Jones has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilmember Bakke. Jessica, questions?
Is this the first reading?
Resolution.
It's a resolution.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine. I was questioning it too as well for a second when you said that. Okay, so to summarize once again, it was Councilmember Jones making the resolution motion and Bakke providing the second. Is there any further discussion?
I just want to clarify, I said 1.5 megawatts, it's 1.3.
All right, any further questions? All right, Kara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Bakke.
Yes.
All right, that motion passes, and it's resolution number
1436, 1436.
1436. All right, you have another resolution right in front of you. It's 5.5, and Councilmember Campbell, if you can read that by title.
Give me 1 second, please. All right, here's a resolution approving the form and authorizing the village administrator to execute the Bright Mountain Solar schedule with American Municipal Power, Inc., and take any other actions in connection therewith.
All right, again, it's a resolution, and this goes back to Travis's presentation moments ago regarding our power. This is a second supplement that he believes will help us in our ventures to save money and provide good quality service. Travis, any additional comments?
And this is up to 2 megawatts.
Make a motion.
Motion provided by Councilmember Ring. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second provided by Councilmember Jones. Discussion? Tara, roll call.
Councilmember Campbell,
Yes.
Councilmember Jones,
Yes.
Councilmember Keith,
Yes.
Councilmember Pringle,
Yes.
Councilmember Ring,
Yes.
Councilmember Baca.
Yes.
All right, motion passes, and that is resolution number
1437.
1437. All right, thank you. So moving right along, under item 6, we're gonna go through our fiscal report, multiple things in there, your fund summaries in there, bank reconciliations, the payments, multiple items. So I'm assuming everybody's probably already looked through that, but certainly take a look. If there are questions, we can certainly entertain those questions, and we are fortunate enough to have Greg with us tonight. I'm sure he can help answer. Alright, I'll give you guys just a moment because I know there's a lot there.
I had a question on page 7,
Of which one?
Which,
the appropriation status, sorry.
Page 7 of the appropriation status, okay?
Just the first one where it's the, $1,246.76. What is that one? Do you know?
What page are you on?
Page 7, and what was the amount, 1246.76?
Yes.
This is pool balance.
The enforcement education, what is,
Georgetown appropriation status.
So that's one of the police funds.
is that for
yeah, that's
the,
on the police side.
So they have, there are some
oh, that's for training and that kind of stuff, okay.
education.
Alright, that's all I have.
Thank you for bringing that question up. I thought at some point we were able to, like, at the top, it would say like police fund.
It did, I saw it on there after I asked. or
Yeah,
after-
because
after
I'm
you
struggling with that now myself.
I saw it somewhere.
Yeah, and there should be a little box up in the corner, on the left-hand side, it should.
On the left-hand side.
Now, since police take out their new funds, with them being 2903, that one may not tie into their actually.
It says it on the very bottom,
Well, let's just make sure everybody.
But there are a few there on page 7, like the enforcement and education, that's tied to police. So like when the police do trainings or host a function at the school, they can use that for items for that educational purpose. And then the next one down is the indigent alcohol treatment fund. That is also required, so certain citations, a little bit of the citation will be separated and go into that fund for a restricted purpose. Same with the next one is the court computerization fund. That covers the cost for the computer for the mayor's court program. Also, we use that for the printers, like in the police cruisers, because the citations are printed on those printers.
Sorry, I'm just looking at it. I'm giving you time, a few moments, because again, there's a lot here and I just want to make sure we allow for questions.
I did have a question on the payment listing once we're doing appropriations.
Go for it. That's fine.
Just on toward the top there, Highland Administrative Services, and it's 708. I just wondered what that was.
That's our, insurance for the village for the
I
year.
got you. Okay. Figured it's probably something along these lines. I'm gonna double check. Thank you.
Yeah, so Highland represents, it's, the Ohio plan is our insurance. Highland is the broker.
Gotcha. Thank you.
All right, other questions? And as always, guys, you have resources in front of you. If this is something that you feel as if you don't know enough about or you want to know more, certainly reach out to Travis and he'll work with you and or Greg to get some time scheduled and go through that. And I think it's beneficial, especially if you're newer to council, to get a decent understanding of what's going on. So, and it's not your typical business P&L statement that you're reading. It kind of formats a little differently, so it can be confusing. So again, that option is always on the table for you. All right, next item, 6.2, is your mayor's court report, and mayor's court is booming, as always, so take a look at that.
I got a
Yes.
question on that.
Sure.
Okay, so when I look at it, it says cost, and then mayor's court, like 39, 77, 60. Is that our call, like that's what we're paying out, or is that what we're bringing in? Like,
So that is what we bring in.
that is what, okay,
None of this is anything that we pay out.
okay.
Court costs.
Okay, gotcha. I was kind of confused on that.
Yeah, you'll see in the budget, in the police, 2 revenue lines are court fines and court costs.
Okay,
And then
but that
down
doesn't
below,
go on this, right?
Right.
Right, okay.
you'll see like, court cost again, and that's just a breakdown of where all of that money from the lump sum goes to.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then you'll see on there, and for the good of the group here, current period is based on the date at the top, year to date essentially, so year to date this year, 2026, and then year over year, so year to date, so it's basically a direct comparison year over year. Any other questions on that?
Yeah, this is probably a silly question, but
No question's
victims
silly.
of crime,
Which one is it?
victims of crime,
Yes, I see it. 329, 811, and 648.
I'd love to know what it means. I'm not sure. The state of Ohio just tells you that you pay that basically.
is that restitution to John Doe for something, or?
Not necessarily,
But
no.
it's not from us, it's from the person who's
So that,
charged.
Yeah,
and that
so-
goes,
yes.
that goes to the state.
Okay,
Correct.
So that, my speculation is that handles people who can't afford, to be represented when they've been a victim of a violent crime.
Yeah, so when you come into court, not only do you pay our court costs, you pay what's mandated from the state and however they so choose to disperse that.
best to stay out of it.
Yes, it's best to stay out of court. That's for sure. Alright, so that was 6.2. Again, there are no other questions. We'll move on to the zoning report, which is 6.3. You'll see that I do believe Mike's been out quite a bit with some vacation. However, he did provide his report in there for us. If there are any questions, certainly bring those up or address those with Travis. Alright, and I think that's it. So we will move along to roundtable tonight, and I'm going to start on, actually I'm going to start based on the agenda, and the agenda tells me that I'm starting with Councilmember Campbell tonight.
I have nothing tonight, thank you.
Councilmember Jones,
I just want to thank the group for excusing my absence last meeting, and it's good to be back. Other than that, that's it.
thank you. Councilmember Keith,
Yes, I wanted to talk about, Travis had let us know Tuesday morning that there was some legislation that might be happening at the state level concerning utility bills and delinquent bills. When people move from one building to another, or tenant moves from one address to another and they leave unpaid utility bills, they're working on something that would allow, or it would put the delinquent bills to be back and put back in and absorbed by utility companies and or villages like ours. And so we would have to absorb that cost and then figure out how to move from there to try to get that covered. I actually reached out to our state representative, Adam Bird. He did call me back just yesterday. It was a really good talk. It has been in the committee stage 8 different times. So it's not necessarily brand new. And he did explain that when it's in the committee stage, that many times, nobody knows what to do. So they're not gonna vote on it tomorrow, which the information that we had received from the Ohio Municipal Electric Association kind of made it sound like they might be voting in on this really soon, but in reality, it would have to go through the committee, go through the Senate floor, and then through the House floor, and then onto the governor's desk. But, so, I just wanted to speak on it, because I was able to have the experience to talk to Representative Byrd, but to let the public know that this is something that we're, as a council, will have to really stay focused on this and know what to do in the future, because you know, we're at a spot where once again the people have to pay for the choices that other people make. So just want to let everyone know that we're looking into it and doing our best we can to fight it off. And at this point, reach out to your representative and your state senators. He did tell me in that phone conversation that I was the first and only person to ever contact him about this situation. So that was rather interesting, but so yeah, reach out to Adam Byrd and Senator Terry Johnson would be the two people to, anybody can do this from home, and reach out and show your concerns. So
Kudos to you, Jay, for reaching out and making that phone call. One of the newest members of council, and we certainly appreciate it, and being willing to do that, and just kind of didn't know what you were getting into completely, so
no,
certainly appreciate that. And I will also say kudos to our administrator. This is something new. I've been here roughly 15 years and never have I been ahead of a curve and known that something was getting voted on at the state level that maybe we should be addressing from our local level. So I think that attests to how strong our administrator is and how knowledgeable and how abreast he is to what's going on in the market. And I think we see this in this area at the state level with him, but in all areas. I was very wowed by his presentation on the electricity too as well, and how knowledgeable he is of the subject matter. So I know for us, we're very fortunate here. So when he's asking for us to do something, I think it's very important. So again, thank you, Travis. Thank you, Jack.
Absolutely.
All right, Council Member Pringle.
I just wanted to thank Pam and Doug McKinney for taking care of the planters around the village. They were cleaning up the holiday decorations, I think that she puts out every year. I think she also takes care of the flowers around the square in the summertime. So I saw her and Doug out there last week. Just wanted to say thank you. That's all I have.
Listen, they do this and have done this for quite some time, and they do it without direction or much effort or, quite honestly, much help from us. And they love doing it, I can say that, but at the same time, they certainly need to be appreciated. Travis, I think we certainly need to put that on our radar. I would love to do something for them, whether it's a proclamation, heck, you guys want to name a street, you guys seem to like to name streets. I'm down for that, but I would certainly be putting our thinking caps on, and Travis will take a note, and maybe we can have some conversation about this in the future.
Maybe we should get her a custom license plate for her lawnmower that she wrecked.
It's a cute idea.
lawnmower? Is that the tap?
It's a village lawnmower.
Yes, yeah. And they seem to decorate for pretty much most seasons, so.
Now, this will be a light year because of the construction around the square. There won't be as many flowers. But yeah, we'll still have some, as many as we can.
Have we made them aware of kind of what's going on?
Yeah, Jeremiah was gonna be talking with them a little next week or so.
Okay. All right, awesome. All right, anything else, Councilmember Pringle?
No.
Councilmember Ring?
No.
Councilmember Bakke?
Just briefly, I know you talked about it. I sent emails to Representative Byrd and also to Senator Johnson. I would encourage village residents to do that as well, because ultimately if that is passed, it gets passed down the chain, so we are gonna pay that. And I would agree with the mayor, Travis did a great job on enlightening. And one of the things that I thought was most concerning is people will have the ability to leave a utility bill unpaid, move to a new residence within the same village, and then get utility services. So in essence, you can jump houses, never pay bills, but it's when you get passed back on through us. So definitely reach out to them. I'm glad that you got the phone call back. I haven't got any emails back yet, but hopefully I would encourage people. The other thing, since we're seeing Travis's praise, he had the first meeting of the construction on the square. I talked to a couple people that attended, they appreciated that. I would encourage any businesses or anybody in general, I think monthly is the plan for that right now.
Yes.
So I would encourage people to attend if they want to get a timeline, especially the businesses, but that was very well done. That's all.
And yes, thank you for bringing that up too as well. Thank you for following the email that Travis requested from us and reaching out. We certainly appreciate it. You bring up another valid point. We did do and this was completely brought on by our administrator from start to finish. He wanted to bring the local business owners together to talk about, especially the ones that were impacted from the square renovations this summer, to talk about what to expect, timeline, things of that nature. So he proactively reached out, sent letters to get people to participate. We had that meeting this week. I thought it was a fantastic meeting, and I think it was agreed upon by all that was in the room that this is something we probably should do ongoing for a while. And so Travis, I don't have it embedded in my head, but I know we set a cadence for these meetings, and they were the second Tuesday of each month.
Yeah, the next one is the 14th of April. We're gonna move it to the conference room across the hall from the commissioner's office.
So, okay. All right, so again, the second second Tuesday of each month, 12 p.m. It's going to be in the meeting room at the Commissioner's Building here in Georgetown, and it's for local business owners and/or general public who want to come and just join the roundtable or just listen. But we'll have a different agenda every month and a lot of roundtable discussion between the business owners. And open to the council members too. I know we did see some here that day too as well. All right, anything else, Councilmember Wacky?
No, that's it.
All right, Travis, update for us?
Just one thing, I did attend this morning, Claremont Chamber has an annual economic forecast breakfast. It's always interesting. It's put on by ITR Economics. They kind of became famous, if you will, because they were one of the few that had predicted the 2008 crash prior to it happening. So they have a very high accuracy rating. They're usually, with 20 to 22 months out, their prediction rating on the economics, various economics numbers are above 90%. Most of them are above 95%. I've been attending this for, I don't know, a dozen years now. Two things they've been consistent on is it really doesn't matter who's in, who has the political control. That really doesn't affect the day-to-day or the economics of the country. I think people get absorbed in the politics. Really has very little to do with our economic machine of the country. Second, ever since I've been going, they've been predicting a depression to start around 2030. And we're here at 2026 and that's still on target for something that is going to happen. We're looking at a major downturn in the 2030s. So it's something that everyone should be preparing, and it's something that we should be, taking consideration of as a village.
So, any questions for Travis? All right, thank you. Joe, anything for the group tonight?
Not tonight.
All right, you'll see on your agenda, the next meeting is on March 26th. It always falls on opening day. Okay, March 26th at 6 p.m. Here
We
in
need to
the.
make a motion to,
We just noticed
Put my
that.
note in already?
Next meeting is on March 26th of 2026 here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. If there's no additional items to come before this council tonight, I'll certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
So make a motion to adjourn.
Councilmember Bakke was faster to make a motion. Was there a second? Councilmember Campbell made the second. Tara, roll call. Wait, I'll just do, everyone in favor state so by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.